All right, so recently I was asked, what is my main concern when it comes to preparing? And this is not to say, what am I preparing for? You see that on the shows like Doomsday Preppers and all that sometimes, where they say, I'm preparing for this or I'm preparing for that. And to me, it's a little bit ridiculous because if you're looking in one direction and you're preparing for one thing, the odds are you're going to get blindsided by something that you didn't even think about. So say that like the avian bird flu, I think was one of them, or if you're preparing for an EMP or anything like that. If you're not ready for an economic collapse or anything like that, you're going to be kind of hosed. And I think that goes into why my main concern is an economic collapse and always has been, because it's kind of all encompassing when it comes to preparedness, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But that's my main concern for basically for obvious reasons. I mean, this country is in this huge bubble, and it could burst at any time, and we could be hosed. Before this election took place, and before Donald Trump got elected president, I was more concerned than I am now. But that's not to say I'm not concerned. If Hillary were to get in the office, my opinion was that it would have been completely horrible. It would have been more of the same. And like I said in a past video, we were going up this hill, this roller coaster, and we were about ready to go down the hill. And with her, it would have been more of the same status quo, and we'd have gone down faster. You look at the stuff that's happening in Greece, where their economy is just totally messed up because of entitlements and all of that. And granted, we're a bigger country, but that doesn't mean we can't fail. And I think that's a problem in the United States, is that people feel like we can't fail. Everything's great. My job, I get to go to work every day. I get to do this every day. We'll get these guys in office, and they'll make sure that never happens. But when you really look at it, they're the reason this all is happening. So I still believe that an economic collapse is the main priority. And another reason for that is because, like I said, it's all encompassing. So there's a lot of different situations that could cause an economic collapse, a lot of things that an economic collapse could cause. So there's a lot of different things that go into it. An economic collapse could cause riots and all of that stuff. A grid down event could cause an economic collapse. So I think if you're preparing for an economic collapse, you're kind of covering all your bases as much as we can anyway. If you're doing your food storage, you're doing your water storage, you're learning these survival skills, you're learning about how to survive without electricity, what it is you need to do. You're kind of covering your bases for if there is civil unrest, or if there is some sort of war, terrorist attacks, even natural disasters. You're learning all of that stuff. So if you have that economic collapse type situation at your core, it's the tentacles that reach out that you're going to have a little bit better. And then you can afford to reach out to, say, if there's natural disaster, something like that. You're going to be covered for the most part, because you have your food stores, your water stuff, your survival skills, you have your bug out bags, your get home bags. And then you can kind of refine that and think about that a little bit more. It's tough to say what is the most important, because everybody's situation is different. So, if I lived in California right on the San Andreas Fault, I'd be really concerned about that. If I lived next to a nuclear power plant, I'd be really concerned about that, because without the electrical grid to cool those rods and everything, that could become a major disaster. So it's really tough to say, which one is more important, because it really depends on everybody's personal situation. But I think I like to prepare for an economic collapse, just for the fact of it helps me at least get a head start on some of these other things, and then I can refine those a little bit down the line. But that's mine. If you have any comments or what you're preparing for, I hate to say it like that, but what your main concern is, let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions you'd like me to do a video on later, let me know in the comments below, or email me. And then also at the Survivalist Prepper Academy, we have a course that kind of goes into this. It's called the Personal Threat Assessment, where you can kind of figure out what your priorities are. A lot of us kind of know, but it helps you figure out a game plan for what you need to do, and figure out which areas you need to go into. Also and that's survivalistprepper.net/SPAL. And also at the main survivalistprepper.net website, if you get on the email list, we have a bunch of free gifts that'll kind of help you out. We have the shopping list, we have that personal threat assessment, and also you can get into the academy for free with the prepping crash course. You can take that one course, see what the academy's like, see if it's for you or not. But it goes through a lot of stuff, especially if you're just getting into preparedness. A really cool course with a lot of information. But I'll leave the links below for that. But anyway, I appreciate everybody. Make sure and subscribe to the channel, and if you do have any questions, let me know in the comments below or email me at dale@survivalistprepper.net, and we'll talk to you later.